The Human Resource Service Center presents the kind of weaknesses to mention in an interview and how to actually phrase them. Recording by Eddie Chigozi. Here are a few examples of the best weaknesses to mention in an interview. Number 1. I focus too much on the details. Being detail-oriented is typically a good thing. But if you are someone who tends to spend too much time on the specifics of a project, it could also be considered a weakness. By sharing that you focus too much on details, you are showing your interviewer that you are capable of helping the organization avoid even minor mistakes. Be sure to explain how you are making improvements in this area by looking at the big picture. While employers may not love the idea of having an employee who is preoccupied with fine points, a candidate who assures quality and strives for balance can be a great asset. Example: my greatest weakness is that I sometimes focus too much on the details of a project and spend too much time analyzing the finer points. I have been striving to improve in this area by checking in with myself at regular intervals and giving myself a chance to refocusing on the bigger picture. That way, I can still ensure quality without getting so caught up in the details that it affects my productivity or the team's ability to meet the deadline. Number 2, I have a hard time letting go of a project. When you have spent a great deal of time and effort on something, it is easy to feel apprehensive about marking it complete or passing it on to another team. There is always room for improvement, and some people tend to over-criticize their work or attempt last-minute changes, which can threaten the timeline. At the same time, though, last-minute reviews can help eliminate errors and make for a more refined finished product. If this is your weakness, share how you are striving to improve by giving yourself a deadline for all revisions and being proactive about changes so that you are not waiting until the last minute. Example: my greatest weakness is that I sometimes have a hard time letting go of a project. I am the biggest critic of my work, and I can always find something that needs to be improved or changed. To help myself improve in this area, I give myself deadlines for revisions. This helps ensure I am not making changes at the last minute. Number 3, I have trouble saying no. Helping colleagues on projects and properly managing your workload is an artful balance. From an employer's perspective, someone who accepts all requests seems dedicated and eager, but can also be someone who doesn't know their limits and ends up needing help or deadline extensions to finish their work. If you are someone who is so eager to take on new projects that you can't bring yourself to say no, share how you are working to better self-manage by organizing your tasks and setting more realistic expectations with yourself as well as those around you. Example: my greatest weakness is that I sometimes have trouble saying no to requests and end up taking on more than I can handle. In the past, this has led me to feel stressed or burnt out. To help myself improve in this area, I use a project management app so I can visualize how much work I have at any given moment and know whether or not I have the bandwidth to take on more. Number 4, I get impatient when projects run beyond the deadline. While expressing outward stress or frustration over missed deadlines can be considered a weakness, employers value workers that place importance on deadlines and strive to keep projects within the planned timeline. If you are using this as your job interview weakness, frame your answer to focus on how you appreciate work that is completed on time and ways in which you are improving yourself or helping to improve the processes to get work done more efficiently. Example: my greatest weakness is that I get impatient when projects run past the deadline. I am a stickler for due dates and get uncomfortable when work is not completed on time. To avoid this, I have started being more proactive and paying attention to how I am reacting to make sure I am being motivated and helping foster efficiency. Number 5, I could use more experience in. Each candidate will have areas to improve their expertise. Maybe it is something specific like building pivot tables in Excel, or perhaps it is a skill like math, writing, or public speaking. Whatever the case, sharing something you want to improve upon shows the interviewer that you are self-aware and like to challenge yourself. Be sure, however, that you don't answer with a weakness that is essential to the role. A few common areas people need experience in include verbal communication, written communication, team leadership, interpreting analytics, delegating tasks, providing constructive criticism, specific programs, that is to say, I would like to improve my PowerPoint presentation skills. Number 6, I sometimes lack confidence. Lack of confidence is a common weakness, especially among entry-level contributors. Experiencing a lack of confidence can sometimes cause inefficiencies in your work. For example, you might feel too unqualified to speak up at an important meeting when your idea could help the team to achieve a goal. While being humble when working with others can be helpful, it is also necessary to maintain a certain amount of confidence to do your job at an optimal level. If this is the weakness you choose to present in your interview, emphasize why you value confidence, your understanding of the value you offer, and ways you have practiced displaying confidence in the workplace, even when you might not always feel it. Example: in the past, I have sometimes struggled with confidence. It has been helpful for me to keep a running document of the impact I have made on my team and at my organization to better understand why I should be confident about the skills and unique talents that I bring to the table. I have also made it a point to voice my ideas and opinions during meetings when I feel they are appropriate and will add value to the conversation. Because of this, our team ended up adopting my idea for a new financing process, which resulted in a 10% decrease in time taken to plan our annual budget. Number 7, I can have trouble asking for help. Asking for help is a necessary skill both when you are lacking expertise in a certain area and when you are feeling burnt out or cannot handle your workload. Knowing when and how to ask for help shows strong self-awareness and helps the organization by getting ahead of a possible inefficiency. While having a strong work ethic and being independent are positive qualities, it is better for the business to know when to ask for help. If you know it has been difficult for you to ask for help in the past, explain why you know it is beneficial and the ways you have tried to improve this skill. Example: because I am independent and enjoy working quickly, it has been difficult for me to ask for help when I need it. I have learned that it is much more beneficial both for me and the business to reach out when I do not understand something or feel burnt out with my workload. I also understand that there are many experts around me that have specific knowledge and skills that can make my work better. While I am still working on it, I have been able to produce more high-quality work as a result of getting help from those around me. Number 8. It has been difficult for me to work with certain personalities. Even the most flexible people can have trouble working with others that have certain characteristics or personality traits. Having good teamwork skills also means having a strong awareness of how you work with others and ways you can adjust your approach to better serve the organization. If this has been a weakness of yours in the past, explain the personality types you have had trouble working with and quickly identify the reasons why. Then discuss the ways you have adjusted your communication or work style to better work towards a common goal together. Example: in the past, I have found it difficult to work with aggressive personality types. While I understand diversity in personalities makes a business strong, I tend to quiet my own ideas and opinions around louder colleagues. To combat this, I have made it a point to spend more time with colleagues I feel uncomfortable working with. By learning more about them, their communication style, and their motivations, I am better able to collaborate with these personality types so that we both equally contribute our strengths and skills. Number 9. It can be difficult for me to maintain a healthy work balance. Finding work balance is important to maintain motivation in your job. While it is certainly honorable and shows a strong work ethic to spend your time and energy on work, it is also necessary to prioritize spending time with your family, your hobbies, on vacation, or simply resting. Doing so can help you feel refreshed when you are at work and can increase motivation, creativity, and support a positive outlook. If this is the weakness you choose to present during your interview, explain the ways you have made it a point to find a balance between life and work and how you have seen your work improve as a result. You can also explain that work-life balance is something you find important in the role you are applying for. Before providing this as an example, you should do extensive research about the company culture. If you are interviewing for a position in which it is necessary to have your phone on and available at all times, you might not want to say you turn your phone off at night to achieve work-life balance. Example: because I truly love my work and have ambitious career goals, it can be difficult for me to keep a healthy balance between work and my personal life. I have seen a negative impact on my motivation and focus when I ignore my personal needs. As a result, I have made it a point to focus on creating space in my schedule to focus on volunteering and spending time with my family. Taking small actions like putting my phone on silent during dinner time is helpful. When I maintain a good work-life balance, I have found my output is better quality. I can get more work done and I feel excited about coming to work in the morning. Number 10. In the past, I have been uncomfortable with ambiguity. Many jobs require candidates who are comfortable individually defining tasks and working towards goals. This means they should be experienced, thoughtful, and responsible with ambiguity in the workplace. While it is certainly a beneficial skill to closely follow detailed instruction, it is also necessary to be able to determine what it takes to achieve the desired outcome. If this is the weakness you are presenting in an interview, explain the success you have found following instructions, but also your career potential when finding comfort with ambiguity. You should also explain the steps you are taking to define your work day when given ambiguous tasks or goals. Example: in my last position as a marketing intern, I found that my supervisor gave very specific instructions regarding my responsibilities. Because I became familiar with having a strong direction, I tend to be unsure when approaching an ambiguous assignment or goal. It is a goal of mine to become not only comfortable but successful working with ambiguity. To do so, I have created a personal framework for times when I feel overwhelmed or confused by an ambiguous task, including conducting structured research and asking subject matter experts for advice. Doing so has helped me thrive when working on ambiguous tasks or when working towards less specific or defined goals. To sum this up, the top best weaknesses to mention in an interview are these. 1. I focus too much on the details. 2. I have a hard time letting go of a project. 3. I have trouble saying no. 4. I get impatient when projects run beyond the deadline. 5. I could use more experience in. 6. I sometimes lack confidence. 7. I can have trouble asking for help. 8. It has been difficult for me to work with certain personalities. 9. It can be difficult for me to maintain a healthy work-life balance. And 10. In the past, I have been uncomfortable with ambiguity. Use this list of weaknesses to help identify your areas of improvement. And remember to explain how you are working to overcome your shortcomings. By presenting both the problem and the solution, you can transform your weakness into a strength. The world has changed, and it is never going to be the same again after this COVID-19 pandemic. One thing you can be sure of is that jobs will become even more competitive than they have been up to this point. With our CV services, where we help you to rewrite your CV and make it more attractive to hiring managers, with our interview packs tailor-made to prepare you well for the specific interview you have been shortlisted for, the Human Resource Service Center is the best organization to prepare and support you as you get back into the job market. Use this lockdown period to get ahead of the competition. Let us improve your CV so that when you get back into the job market, you will hit the road running. Contact us by telephone or WhatsApp on the number 256 772 481 995. You can also visit our website on www.humanresourcecenter.com.